We are back. Usually I say Peanut Gallery, take it away. But Bound for Glory. This is the highest attended TNA show ever?
Yes, I think so.
It's a culmination of a lot of different rivalries, especially with the...
And this was a strong show.
It was, but there were two things that just fucking killed momentum, and it pissed me off slightly. But we'll get into it. I liked how the Marines and doing the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever they did went right into Steve Maclin's entrance because he is, because Steve Maclin served in the military. So it actually really kind of worked really cool in that way. I liked this match. It was a fun match, but it was such a weird thing where they gave the title to Kazarian and then he immediately lost it back to Maclin.
I think because they had this spot plan, they wanted to give a big moment to Steve Maclin. So that's probably why.
So why did you have to give the title to Frankie Kazarian in the first place? Could we have waited to blow this load now instead of having this match at was it at Rebellion or was it at Victory Road? Where he won the title. Why did he win the title?
Again, I don't know.
Oh, and then we'll get into another reason why I was really pissed off about this here, and it does involve Frankie Kazarian.
Yes, it does, and I know exactly where your gripe is, and I have a gripe about it too.
But we will cross that bridge when we come to it, which is going to be after the Tessa Blanchard Gia. Oh, by the way, this match gets an Orange Cassidy thumbs up, and Maclin won with a KIA. Tessa Blanchard and Gia Miller. It was a fun match. Obviously, Tessa Blanchard is very experienced, so she can really work around Gia's limitations.
Yeah, which is fine. I like that. If there's someone in the match who's not as experienced, put them in a match with someone who is experienced. Have them carry the match, and I thought it was perfectly acceptable.
Right. My expectations for this match weren't greatly high.
No.
Sometimes that kind of bites me on the ass, but I was accurate in this. It was a fine match. It was a fun encounter, and Tessa Blanchard won the match, which is the thing that needed to happen. But where do you go from here with Gia Miller? Was this just a one-off, or is she now going to be a competitor? Because I like her spot. It's just sort of a weird match.
Yeah.
It was just very bizarre. It's like, okay, how do you follow this up?
Though the rivalry is a little bit bizarre too. Right. It wasn't very conventional. But again, TNA is, in my opinion, probably one of those places where unconventional things tend to work better because they are more willing to try unconventional.
Not all the time. All the time.
No, but they are. At least TNA is willing to try them.
Right. This didn't necessarily hurt anything.
No.
But it just did not... I just don't think it added really a whole lot. This could have been done on the pre-show. Put the women's tag title match.
I agree with that. This should have been a pre-show match, maybe like the last match in the pre-show, because it had some importance tied to it. But yeah, you should have been. That makes sense.
Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Gia definitely needs some improvement, but she is not bad.
No,
maybe a little careful, but I noticed that a lot of people who don't have a lot of experience in the ring tend to do that, where they're very careful about making sure the move is done right instead of having that fluidity.
Yeah,
that other wrestlers.
That's how wrestling is trained.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's get to this.
The Call Your Shot Gauntlet.
There were two winners to this match because they both had their shoulders down at the same time, and I couldn't tell if they were covering each other or not.
They covered each other. So it was a double superplex. They hooked each other's legs in a roll up. But both of their shoulders were down. The two referees counted for some reason. And then Santino said both of them were the winners. Here's what I would have done. Restarted the match between the two.
And who were the two that won?
Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian, who attacked Jody Threat to get into the match. He was not originally scheduled to be in the match.
He being Frankie Kazarian.
Yes. I don't think Jody Threat is a man.
No, but you didn't specify which he Nick did the attack. Nick Nemeth was always going to be in the match.
Yes, he was in the match already with his little brother.
Yes.
Thumbs down fuck you. This was so dumb. And Peanut Gallery did say something that TNA sometimes, they're a little more experimental when it comes to unique circumstances.
Right.
This is one of those times where now we have a mess on our hands.
Yes.
Because now
we have 2 Call Your Shot Gauntlet winners, and I don't know.
They're going to go for the same champion, and we already saw how it was going to be a mess at the end of the fucking show.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that because it was a mess at the end of the show. It was so weird.
It was very weird. Now, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna play out, but it's just a situation that's like there really should. These are one of those things where there should only be one winner.
Right. The Royal Rumble did the same bullshit too with Bret Hart and Lex Luger, where both of them technically won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I know.
But they did that once, and they haven't done it again in 25 years because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work very well.
Exactly. The one thing that I think they should have done, if they really wanted to go out of their way and do something crazy, I think the hometown man should have won this.
Mm-hmm.
He was so popular with this crowd. He was insanely popular. And how awesome would it have been for the hometown man to have the opportunity for the TNA World Champion. I'm sorry, he's popular right now.
He is.
I don't know why they're not taking advantage of it, because I think he was one of the final guys, too.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
People wanted hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should have done that. If they wanted to do experimental, give it to the gimmick guy. Give it to the hometown man. That would have been awesome, because no matter what, he'd be the hometown man for the match.
Right.
Because he's the hometown man.
Anyways, moving on.
But yes, thumbs down, fuck you. This was weird. I didn't like this.
Yeah.
It was a fine match, and god damn it, Indi should have won. Why? I like Kelani Jordan. I want to make sure that is, clear.
But Kelani Jordan, Indi Hartwell, despite the fact that she still has the same name, is actually part of the TNA roster.
Right. And at the same time, Indi really went through a lot of hoops to get this opportunity. I mean, we said the same thing about Mike Santana, and we saw how that ended up.
This should have been Indi's time.
It should have been Indi's. Kelani Jordan was put in a very tough position being the champion right now, because with Ash by Elegance having to relinquish the title for some reason, I don't even know why, there was no other major heel.
Right.
Because, they lost Ash by Elegance, Jordan Grace, and Masha Slamovich, because of the controversy with Masha.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, Kelani Jordan is put in the crossfire because she is now the champion, but she's a babyface champion.
Right. And the other thing that you have to understand too is that she's also not seen as one of the people, she's not under TNA's contract.
Right.
Which complicates it even further. It makes it easier for her to be attacked because she is not a contracted wrestler with TNA.
Right.
So that, there's a lot going on with this situation, and it's not as clean cut as the men's title situation.
Right. And then Indi had all the momentum going into the match. She should have won this title.
Yeah.
This was the time to do it, and they just did not do it.
I don't know why, but
once again, Kelani, it's not Kalani's fault.
No.
Nothing about this is Kalani's fault. She's a face of poor decisions right now.
Right. Yeah, and this is, and I don't think it's even TNA's fault. They were just put in a bad spot.
They were put in a bad spot, but give it to another TNA.
Give it to another TNA person so that you can at least reset.
It should have
balance of power.
If you were going to do that with the circumstances given, the title should have been on Dani Luna.
Yes.
Of anybody, because she is a heel. They're really promoting her right now. And she just turned heel. So it would have made sense. Then you have a babyface heel dynamic here. And either way, we would have been fine.
Right.
But it's just Kelani. And unfortunately, it's going to hurt her legacy as the Knockouts champion because of this weird decision making.
Yeah, well,
Orange Cassidy thumbs up for the match itself.
But this situation, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I don't know. We had the same gripe about Mike Santana not winning it at the last big pay-per-view. And then, obviously, this one made it more impactful. So, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess. But as it sits right now, I'm not a fan of the choice. Order 4 and the system in the 10-person intergender hardcore war match. It's a hardcore match.
Yeah.
A lot of weapon stuff, a lot of crazy whatever. I like hardcore war.
Yeah, this match. It was a lot. There were a lot of spots going on, but this is an expectation, and you got a lot of people with a lot of experience in there with weapons, especially.
Yep.
They did their job and they did it well.
The focus of this match was Agent Zero. Agent Zero has really come into his own as a competitor. And the funny thing is, the wrestler who's played Agent Zero, he's older. And it's like he looks phenomenal. He's super lanky. He has a great moveset for what he's supposed to do here. I just really liked this dynamic. I like that Agent Zero was not only highlighted but protected, and the system won.
Yeah.
So he wasn't pinned. Ali was pinned.
Right.
And it was a Boston Knee Party with the barbed wire for the victory. It was just a fun match, good rivalry going into this. Everybody looked strong here. Full thumbs up from me. And this is coming from a guy who's not generally a fan of hardcore wrestling.
You're generally not a hardcore guy.
So if I enjoyed it, it was a good match. If you really like hardcore wrestling, there wasn't like anything crazy.
Yeah, you're not going to get like stupid John Moxley spots, but you're going to get some good spots.
Exactly. You're definitely. It was organized and strategic, and there was blood, so you got that out of the way. But it wasn't crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy stupid.
Right.
All right.
Love it. Another gripe. This was my other gripe. Here's the problem with this. WWE did not want Javon Evans to lose to a TNA guy. So how do they go about this? If they've already booked the match and they don't want another TNA guy or another NXT guy with a TNA champion because they already have two as of right now.
Right.
So what? So what do they do? It was a double false.
Yep.
Or it was a time limit draw.
Yep.
Santino gave it 5 more minutes. And then Dark State attacked, and the match was thrown out. It was perfectly fine. Here's what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done in this situation. It's a rock and a hard place.
I know, because Leon Slater is a babyface. Is he?
Leon Slater is a babyface.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
and Javon Evans is a babyface.
Right, so it would make sense for Leon Slater to do something to get himself disqualified, because that's a heel tactic, or himself counted out, because that's a heel tactic.
Here's what I would have done. Have whoever would win Call Your Shot, insert them into this match.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Then they win the title.
Yeah, or Leon Slater pins them.
Right.
That would make more sense.
That would have been better than what they did here, which is with Dark State. And why Dark State? Why not Order 4? Well, they just went through a hardcore war match. Why not a TNA group? Why not a TNA guy? Why not TNA anything?
I don't know.
Why was it more NXT? I like the inclusion of NXT and TNA, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like maybe at this point it's getting a little much.
Because because Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania. It's their big event.
Yeah, this is their big event. And this was a great match. I liked it's like double falls, 5 more minutes. That's when you have Call Your Shot, cash in, boom. Then Leon Slater wins it. Javon doesn't get pinned, and you get out of this mess without having to do something like this. That's very strange.
Who knows?
I'm going to give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up just because of the finish. If the finish did not happen the way it did, it would have been 1,000% a full thumbs up. But now I'm going to look back at this and say, that sucks.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why did they do it this way?
Right.
It was very odd. And this was so avoidable. This was so avoidable. Another nostalgia.
Yeah.
One final table for both the TNA and the X Division champions.
You mean TNA tag team?
Yes, TNA. I think I said TNA and X Division. TNA and NXT tag team champions. Team 3D versus the Hardys. Holy crap! They cannot do what they can do in the past.
No. But this is their one final table.
Right. I thought the storytelling was great.
Well, you mean you have 4 of the best to ever do tag team.
Right. Like 2 of the best tag teams ever. Really just push tag team wrestling into a new era in, the context of where they were doing it. And still to this day, 2 very respected tag teams. They tried, they did big spots. Don't get me wrong.
Did.
There was a lot there,
but they're old. I mean, this is definitely Devon's last match.
Yep.
Because I know that he was like partially retired anyways, and just agreed to do this one more match.
Right.
Bully Ray, I think he's kind of doing less and less.
Yep.
Just in general, he's not signed. I don't think he's signed with TNA.
Nope.
Hardy's obviously
they're the champions.
Yeah.
They're still working at a high level. And Team 3D retired. They took off the boots and gave them to the Hardys. That's signaling that we're done. This was it, and I'm glad that it is for them.
I'm glad that a lot of these people are going out on their own terms.
Here's what I'm not a fan of. So within the one final table, it was an elimination, right? Jeff Hardy went through a table.
Yeah,
so how can he continue to do stuff when you don't? When you went through a table?
Again, I just think it was for the nostalgia. It wasn't for anything else.
I get it. I get for the nostalgia, but come the fuck on. Give me some sort of consistency on this, because he's eliminated. That was it. I mean, Devon didn't do anything after he was put through a table. So then why did Jeff could just get back in the fucking ring and do moves? If they were going to do that, don't have the Hardys be eliminated. Do a clean sweep. They just wanted more and more table spots, I guess. This
is the way it is.
Everything about outside of like the in-ring competition was done really, really well. The story was done well. They were very good about hiding the limitations. They were there, but they were good about hiding them. And for being Attitude Era kids, obviously these two teams were so a part of that. So for that, I'm giving it a full thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's only one just because of
just the weird spot, and everyone just anyways,
it was very strange, but outside of that, it was very good. The main event, before we get into it, if I'm not sure if you noticed, but a lot of people did, and they're like, what an idiot. Trick Williams had the title on upside down.
Yes,
but he did that on purpose because his philosophy is, I turn this company upside down, so I'm going to have the title actually on upside down. I liked how they explained that without making Trick look like a retard.
Right.
But it does make sense in that capacity. This is their main champion. So it's like, I turned this company upside down. I really made it what it is. Here you go. With hindsight being 2020, I am glad that they waited for Mike Santana.
This was Mike Santana's big moment.
Yep. And if Trick won this, I would have been fucking infuriated. I would have been so pissed off. But the
right guy won. Mike Santana, just like women's champion needs to be. He's kind of a reset for TNA guys.
Right. TNA. Mike Santana has just come such a long way. This was a fantastic match. But we gotta talk about the call your shot ending. I don't want to, but we have to.
It was awkward.
So. At first, it was Frankie Kazarian who wanted to cash in on Mike Santana. So now you have this big moment totally taken away, and now we're distracted. So then Nick Nemeth comes out and says, no, I'm grabbing the trophy. So now they're fighting over this trophy like kids, essentially.
Yeah.
Then Elijah returns, attacks him, and then apparently our directive is supposed to go back on this moment. Why? It was so bad. Unfortunately, it's part of the match. You have to consider it.
Yep.
This would have been a 2 thumbs up match if they just left the call your shot in the Elijah bullshit alone. You could have done that during a regular TNA show, and it would have worked 1,000 times better.
Yep.
It gets a full thumbs up. It would have gotten a 2. I recommend watching this match.
But just blot out the parts that don't make sense.
Exactly. And that was Bound for Glory, a little bit longer, but there was a lot to unpack here.
Yes.
So when we come back, we're going to be talking about Wrestle Dream.